Okay, so today we are going to discuss and we are going to move on to a new topic called object-oriented programming. So as I mentioned last few weeks that after completing the structure topic, we have to move to the topic called object-oriented programming. And actually this is the your module name, right? Object-oriented programming. The thing is now before coming into object-oriented programming, we have to cover lots of things, right? We covered a lot of things like we gone through the basics like how the print happens, how what are the variables and how we can create variables, arrays, right? Then functions, and we discuss about loops, for loops, while loops, and we discuss about decision making, if else, right? And we discuss about lots of things. So we wanted to like create the background, right? So now we are familiar with everything. We know about functions, we know about repetition, we know about decision making, and now currently what we can do is we can write some some basic codes we can develop with our own, right? So we have already completed 2 assignments and we are on the assignment 3, and I hope you have gone through the assignment number 3, which was based on structures, right? And yeah, so we are in a good state now. We have covered everything, and we are armed with the knowledge, the basic knowledge, so we are good to go to the object oriented programming. Now actually there is a few things that we have learned in object oriented programming since we discussed the structures topic, uh, spending like several weeks. So we spent several weeks for structures, and we did several examples. With that knowledge, it's very easy to understand object-oriented programming concepts, right? So now we will move on to the object-oriented programming, and we will discuss what are the things that we need to know in object-oriented programming. Thereafter, what we can do is we can then move on to some practical codings, and we will implement some codes, and we will concrete the idea. So I hope you all, as usual, if you have any questions, you can ask at the same moment. Don't wait until the program until the session ends. And if you have any question, please feel free to ask, and you can use the chat, and as usual you can use your mic and ask questions. So only 12 are here. I don't know exactly what's the reason, but we hope, let's hope that others will be joined soon. And if you have any kind of method to inform them, the group, so please inform them to join, since this is a very important topic. And like you have to understand this, you have to be like familiar with this, since like the remaining weeks and the remaining the sections of the course will be based on the topic that we are going to start today. So everything will be based on object oriented programming. So it's very important to understand the object oriented programming. So as the introduction session, it's very important you to understand the things that we are going to discuss today. It will be quite helpful for you for coming weeks, since we will spend several weeks on the topic object oriented programming, as this is our main topic that we need to discuss under this module. Okay, so right, so at the end of the lecture, if you have any issue regarding the assignment number 3, you can ask. I hope that it is very straightforward assignment, since we have discussed some things related to that in our lecture as well. So we implement several codes, and I send you a sample video which sample video of the weekday batch. So it explains some thing related to the assignment 3. So if you can go through that whole video, then you will probably get lots of clues, lots of information on how to complete the assignment number 3, right? Okay, so now we will move on to the topic object-oriented programming, right? So in object-oriented programming, as I mentioned before going on to the object-oriented programming, we have to like familiar with structures, which we already did, right? Which we already did. Now, before going on to object-oriented programming, let me remind you the structure. What do you mean by structure? again. So we will get a sample code that we completed on the on last week. Right, so let me have share the screen. Okay, so this is what a sample code for a structure, right? So you can see that we have a structure named student, right? The structure named student. So this is something you are familiar with. We have, discussed these things within the last few weeks, right? So here we have a structure called student, right? And you know that these things are called members, right? So what do you mean by members? The only difference, what do you mean by members? Member can be a variable of any data type. Members can be, like, you can define your own set of members, right? So here we have like the name, the maths marks, physics marks, chemistry marks, and the average, right? So we can have our own set of members, and like own set of members in the sense like you can change the data type, right? So you can have any variable with any type of a data type, right? Any data type. And also the other thing is you can also contain, right? Or you can also contain arrays here, right? You can contain arrays here. So members are basically, you can have any amount of members, and members are basically variables and arrays, right? So as you know that a structure is kind of a blueprint, or we say it's like a plan, right? It's not a real thing. It's, physically nothing, but it's just like a blueprint, right? It's like a blueprint. So when it comes to like a structure, as I mentioned, it's a blueprint, but the real object, once you can create an object from that structure, then that becomes a real physical kind of object. Now, what happens here is that this is a structure, right? It's a structure and which has 5 members. Now, these technical terms you have to keep in mind, right? Members. So we have 5 members. So what happens when you are going to create an object from this class, right? Object from this class, sorry, not class, the structure. So when you are going to create a structure, the object from this structure, that object will contain this name, math, physics, chemistry, average, those variables, right? So the S1 object will contain those members. So this is what we discussed, right? Now, for example, so if we create this S1 object, right? So what we need, what we know is that this structure will basically contain a name, right? Maths, physics, chemistry, and average. So this will contain these things, right? So this is something that you know, right? It's something that you already know. So this is what you call the structure, right? And this is how you can create a object from the structure, right? Okay. So if we can understand this, if you can understand structure, so what happens in a structure, right? What happens in a structure and how structure works. Now thereafter what you can do, you can then access those like this, s1 dot name, right? So likewise then you can access them, right? Simply then you can access them like this. right? So that is something that you know, right? That's something that you know, right? So what happens when this kind of object is created? As I mentioned, members will be there for each object created, and those can be accessed like this s1.name. Likewise, it can be accessed, right? Okay, so yeah, so that's what you can understand from the structures, right? So then what you can do, then we are going to move on to the topic. Give me a second. Okay, right. So yes, now let me get another code here, right? Okay, so yeah, so weekend. So today I think is it week 8 or 9? I think week 9. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so our classes and objects. Okay, so right. Okay, so now you know this is, as I mentioned, this is what you call a structure, right? This is what you call a structure, and right. So when it comes to a structure, you have something like this, and this is how you can create objects. So this is what we discussed just a few minutes before, right? Okay. So similarly, in a class, there is a, I mean, slight differences. What you have to do is you have to just change the name here to class, right? You have to change the name, like it's not structure. The keyword is class, right? It is class. Understood? And the other thing is now classes. So what is object oriented programming is about classes. Object oriented programming කියන්නේ classes වලට, right? Structures වලට පොඩ්ඩක් advanced දෙයක් තමයි class එකක් කියන්නේ. Structures ගැන ඔයාලට idea එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒකේ පොඩි තව improvements ටිකක් විතරයි තියෙන්නේ classes කියන topic එකේ. Class කියන topic එකේ, right? So when you take a class, right? So the difference is that in a structure, you know that these are members. So these are the things that you find inside the structure are called members, right? So what's the difference when it comes to a class is that inside the class, you have two different main types of members. Right? So you have two main types of members in a class, right? I mean, in structures, like usually, I mean, generally you identify these as members, but when it comes to a class, so you know what's the difference between class and structure. Now this keyword, we change it to a class. Then the members, we have two types of members. The type one is called data members, right? So under data members, what we are going to include is data members. Under data members, what we are going to include is variables, right? And the other thing that you are not going to see in a structure, that we have something in the classes that you are not going to see in the structures. Structures are නැති තව දෙයක් තියෙනවා classes වල type 2 එක. Right? Type 2 is called, we can call it as member functions, or we call this as methods. So we use both names, either data members, sorry, either member functions, either methods. Right? So what's the specialty? That this can contain, right, functions as well. So for example, let me include the function called calaverage, and also let me include the function called print details. Right. Right. Understood? So inside the class, you have two types of members. Now, altogether, these two types are called members, but the type 1 usually we refers it as data members, and the type 2 refers as member functions, and this is the main thing, right? But I will add another line here. Don't worry about this. I will explain what this means. Right? I will categorize this under public. Now, this public refers to actually, this public is actually the what you call this access modifier type. So don't worry about what this public is. Just worry about what data members and the member functions are. We will discuss about public later. මොකද මේ public එකෙන් කියන්නේ කියලා මම පස්සේ කියන්නම්. දැන් ඒක අපිට ඕන වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? Okay. So that's it. Right? So additionally, other than the if we compare structures and classes, what are the differences? That this will become class, and additionally you have two types of members. The type 1 is data members and type 2 is member functions. Right? Type 2 is member functions. Now then, yes, you can create objects, right? So you can create objects. So what is the right, the difference? That this contains data members, right? So this contains data members. So what do you mean by data members? Like you have right, so you have name, you have a name here, you have maths, you have physics, you have chemistry, and you have average. You have data members, as well as now this object, S1 object, right? So this S1 object, now it contains functions as well, right? So it contains functions as well, like calaverage and print details. Right? So it contains functions as well, calaverage and print detail. Now it has functions as well. So once you are going to create an object from a class, it contains both data members as well as member functions. Now these are called data members, and these are called member functions or methods. Right? Member functions or methods, data members or member functions, data members and member functions. Right? Understood. Now here, like this is called actually the class. This is called the class declaration. Right, so this is known as the class declaration. So this up to here, this is class declaration. Right? So then what this is about now, you can access this like this simply, right? S1 dot right name, right? S1 dot maths, right? S1 dot physics, S1 dot chemistry, right? But the thing is now, uh, other than the members, now we have we access the data members, right? So similarly, what you can do, you can access the methods as well, right? You can access the methods as well, like this S1 dot cal average, right? Actually, up to now we haven't declared what cal average function does. මේ cal average function එක මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ කියලා තාම declare කරලා නැහැ, right? We haven't declared what happens in the cal average function yet, but we call it. දැන් මෙතන බොහොම සරල දෙයක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් data members වලට අමතරව member function උත් තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ object එකක් හදනකොට, දැන් student object එකක් හදනකොට ඒ අපි මේ හදන S1 object කියලා උදාහරණයක් ගමු. S1 ට data members තියෙනවා. name, math, physics, chemistry සහ එයාටම වෙන් වුණ member functions ටිකකුත් තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ එයාටම වෙන් වුණු functions ටිකකුත් තියෙනවා. හැබැයි දැන් ඔයාලට තේරෙන්නේ නැති මේ data members කියන්නේ නෑ. මේවා data members තමයි කියන්නේ. data members තමයි නම. හැබැයි මේකට variable තමයි මෙතන තියෙන්නේ. මෙතන තියෙන functions හැබැයි ඒවා කියන්නේ member functions කියලා. That's the keyword. I mean, simply the variables or the arrays inside the class called data members. The functions inside the class is called member functions, right? So can you give me a second? Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Right. So that's called right. So the function has cal average as well as print details. Right. දැන් ඒ කියන්නේ මේ object එකට ඔය S1 කියන object එකටම වෙන් වුණු function එකක් තියෙනවා cal average කියලා. ඔය S1 කියන object එකටම වෙන් වුණු function එකක් තියෙනවා print details කියලා. S1 ට වෙනම එකක් තියෙනවා. දැන් S2 කියලා හැදුවොත් S2 ට වෙනම cal average එකක් තියෙනවා. S2 ට වෙනම print details එකක්. S3 හැදුවොත් S3 ට වෙනම name, math, physics, chemistry average තියෙනවා වගේම S3 ටත් වෙනම cal average එකකුයි වෙනම print details එකකුයි තියෙනවා. Right? So that's what it says simply. Right? That's what it says simply. Okay, now we can call the method like this. We can call the member functions like this, but we have to define it first. So here, I mean, when you have the class, inside the class, you just mention the, right? You just mention the, declare, I mean, you only declare it here. The functions are only declared. That means it says, okay, we have a function called cal average with the return type void and the function name, print details, and cal average. Likewise, we just declare it here. But later you have to define it. So here, this is called the class definition. So this is actually where you are going to define the class. Right? Understood. So this is where you are going to define it actually. right? So in the class definition, you have to define what this cal average does, right? And what this print details does. Right? So what this cal average does and what this print details does, right? But another thing, now the cal average and the print details are not ordinary functions, right? Cal average and print details are not ordinary functions. They are not ordinary functions in the sense these are not functions like what we use. අර අපි මෙච්චර කාල discuss කරපු functions වගේ නෙමෙයි මේවා, right? These are actually member functions, right? So these are called member functions. So member functions of the student class, right? Member functions of the student class, right? But the thing is, when you define a member function in a class, you have defined it like this. Okay, you know that the function will be defined like the return type and the function. සාමාන්‍ය function එක අපි define කරද්දී return type එකයි function name එකයි තමයි දාන්නේ. හැබැයි මොකක් හරි class එකක member function එකකින් මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ කියලා ඒ function එක define කරනකොට අපි ඒක define කරන්න ඕනේ මෙන්න මේ අපි කියන්න ඕනේ මේක හරි මේ අපි define කරන function එක අර student class එකේ member function එකක්. එතකොට අපි කියන්න ඕනේ මෙහෙම specifically හරි. මේ මම define කරන්නේ student class එකේ print details function එක. student class එකේ cal average function එක. Right, so that's what it yes, Iromi, yes. So we have a question. Are all these created outside the main function? Yes, exactly. You have to create it outside the main function. After declaring the class, you have to define it outside the main function. And the only difference between this and the ordinary function is that we are going to say, okay, what this class, I mean, what this function is, that means we have to say, okay, cal average function, but that's in the student class. Right, so that's in the student class. So you have to specifically mention that. Right. Okay. So then the other thing is that the member functions, now this cal average and print details are member functions of student, right? Member functions of student. So what we can do is that these functions have the capability of accessing the data members, right? So in the print details, we don't, yeah, name, okay, sorry about this. I give me a second. I will get back the video. Okay, sorry about the interrupt. Okay, so now, yeah, coming back to this one. Yes, so now the thing is, we have to declare the functions separately. So this is called the class definition, right? The first class declaration is like this, and this is the class definition. This is called the class definition, right? This is where we are going to define the functions. That means this is where actually we define, okay, this function do this and this function do this likewise. This is where we define every functionality, right? Now the other thing, now, okay, so s1.cal average. So when you are calling the s1.cal average, what happens, right? s1.cal average, what happens? So it calls to the s1's cal average function, right? s1.cal average කිව්වම යා call කරන්නේ s1 ගේ cal average එකට. එතකොට මෙතන මොකද වෙන්නේ? average equal maths plus physics plus chemistry කිව්වම මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ? ඒ average එක ගන්න කාගේද? S1 ගේ maths එකතු කරලා S1 ගේ physics S1 ගේ chemistry ටික එකතු කරලා තුනෙන් බෙදලා තමයි එයාගේ average එක ගන්න. එතකොට එයාගේ S1 ගේ average එකට තමයි ඒක assign වෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේම අපි කොයි වෙලාවෙ හරි call කරනවා නම් s1.printDetails කියලා. අපි s1.printDetails කියලා call කරමු. right? s1.printDetails. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? S1 ගේ ඒවා ටික තමයි call වෙන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ simply S1 ගේ print details call කළාම එතකොට S1 ගේ ටික තමයි print වෙන්නේ. S1 ගේ නම, S1 ගේ math, S1 ගේ physics, S1 ගේ chemistry. පැහැදිලිද? දැන් ඔයා හිතන්න එපා හරි. ඇයි ඉතින් මෙතන s1 dot කියලා දාන්න ඕනේ නැද්ද? මෙතන s1 dot maths නෑ නෑ එහෙම ඕනේ නෑ. මොකද මේ අපි function අපි මේ class එක ලියන්නේ. We define the class. So we define the class here. So once the class is defined, when you are going to create, copies will be created for each object. So when it calls like s1 dot print details, so it calls to the s1 object's print details. So in inside s1 name math physics, so it prints the details of the s1 here simply, right? Okay, so if you run this one, what you are going to see now, huh? What will be the average? Huh? So let me, yeah, okay. So what will be the average? Can someone tell me what will be the average printed? So we are printing all the details. What will be the average? Can one average what kilo printed? Hi, Kian Pulan. Yes. S1 average. What will be S1 average? Someone, please. කියන්න මොකද්ද average එක print වෙන්නේ?
average එක call කරලා නැහැ.
අන්න හරි. මොකුත් print වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Very good. Right? Yeah, the thing is actually we haven't printed it as well here. So if we print it, yeah, you can see the average is 0. Why? Huh? So the average is not calculated yet. Right? Average calculate උනේ නැහැ අයියේ. Average calculate කරන්න නම් what we have to do? We have to call it by the, we have to first call it and then right? Understood? Okay, so let me print a separator like this. So similarly, what we can do, like I can create another object. So let us create another object called s2. And let me change some values here. Right? So that's what happens, right? Understood? Right? Got it? Got the idea? Okay, right? Okay, good. So if you go to the theory, right? If you go to the theory, so before going on to the tree, we actually implemented some codes, right? But now you can understand what, right? So class is a template or a blueprint that describes the behaviors and state of the object of its file if type support, right? So object have properties and behaviors. Methods, a behavior class can contain many methods. So basically, right? right? So everything actually we discussed here. So class can contain data members and member functions, right? So basically data members are, right? So you know data members are these kind of variables and member functions are like this. So then we have defined those each of these functions, right? Now here these are the data members, right? So these are the data members. So when we create object, so we can call that member function by the object name s1.calaverage, s1.printDetails. So if you call like s1.calaverage, so it refers to this one. And so if you call like s1.calaverage, that means s1 average, s1 maths, s1 physics, s1 chemistry. So if you call s1.printDetails, then s1 name, s1 math, s1 physics, s1 chemistry, s1 average likewise. Understood? So that's what actually happens here, right? Okay. Yeah. Yes. So I hope that you can understand what simply a class is about. So let me go to a new code. Right. The thing is, usually the next point that usually we don't define them as public. We define these members as public, right? Member functions. We define member functions as public, but the thing is we define these data members not as public, but we define them as private. Right? So now these data members are declared under private, and these member functions are declared under public, right? So the thing is, now this is not wrong. I mean, this is not wrong. All right, this is not wrong, but the thing is, but as a practice, as a rule, not a rule, yes, as a standard, සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ස්ටෑන්ඩඩ් එකක් විදිහට අපි member functions ලා private විදිහට තමයි declare කරන්නේ. Sorry, data members. අපි data members private විදිහට තමයි declare කරන්නේ. Member functions අපි public විදිහට declare කරනවා. Right? Member functions අපි public විදිහට declare කරනවා. Right? Understood? So yeah, so that's what happens usually. Now what's the actual right, so what's the actual definition of this I mean public and private? So what do you mean actually by private and public? I will explain. Yes, okay, so sorry, I'm having this issue with the camera. Okay, now it's fine, I think. Okay, so what I wanted to highlight here, now this, like usually as a standard සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි class එකක මේවා අපි declare කරන්නේ private විදියට, right? So we declare them as private, and the member functions we declared it as public. I will discuss about private and public, and we have another type called protected. So we have, these are called access modifiers. So these are called access modifiers, and we have three main types of access modifiers called private, public, and protected. So we will discuss about that thing in detail later, right? In detail. But for now, just keep in your mind that what happens is, once you declare something public, right, that can be accessed from the main, right? That can be accessed from the main. But once you declare something private, that data members or that members cannot be accessed from the main or outside the class, right? So as shown here, a public member is accessible from anywhere outside the class within the program. So it can be accessed from the main as well. But in this one, it says a private member variable or function cannot be accessed or even viewed from the outside the class, right? Outside the class. So that means once these things declared under private, you can't access them like this. That means s1.name, s1.maths, s1.chemistry, you can't access them like that. දැන් මේ බොහෝ සරලයි. public කියන ඒවා main එකේ access කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? හරි. s1.printDetails කියලා call කරන්න පුළුවන්, s1.calaverage කියලා call කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි private තියෙන ඒවා මේ තියෙන මේවා private තමයි මම දාලා තියෙන්නේ. name, physics, chemistry මේවා apply කරන්න බෑ. මේවා access කරන්න බෑ. දැන් අපි බලමු run කරලා. So here it says there's an error given and string student is private, right? And physics private, maths private, chemistry private, everything private. So they say that these cannot be accessed from the main. අපි object එකක් හැදුවාම ඒ object එක main එකෙන් ඒ object එකේ members ලා access කරන්න බෑ. ඒවා private members ලා හින්දා. ඔයා හිතනවා මොකද්ද මේක ඉතින් ඇයි ඉතින් ඔයා එහෙම කරන්නේ? දැන් ඔයා මේක ඔයාම බලෙන් private කියලා දාලා ඔයා කියන access කරන්න බෑ. ඉතින් ඇයි private දාන්නේ? public තියන්න පුළුවන්. public තිබ්බනම් මොකොත් ඔහම errors එන්නේ නැහැ නේ. මෙහෙම අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඇයි මම public නොතිය private කරලා මේ error එක හදලා ඔයාලට පෙන්නන්නේ? එහෙම කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. No, the thing is now, as a standard and as a rule, not a rule but as a standard, the data members will be declared private. The thing is now, when in object oriented programming, we hide the data, we hide the members, data members. Only the member functions are visible, right? Only the member functions are visible. The data members are hidden, right? The data members are hidden. So that's something, that's a standard of object oriented programming. Object oriented programming වල තියෙන standard එකක් තමයි data members ලා hide කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒවා main එකේ access කරන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒකින්ද අපි private වලට private යටතේ ඒක categorize කරන්නේ, right? ඒක තමයි සාමාන්‍ය method එක, right? හැබැයි එහෙම කරපු ගමන් මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? When you do that, you will face another issue, right? You will face another issue. What's that issue? That you can't pass values to the data members, right? Why? When you make this private from the main, you can't access them, right? When you make them private from the main, you can't access them. You can't access them. You can't access them in the sense, that means you can't pass, okay, John, maths, physics, chemistry, you can't pass them here to the members, right? So you can't pass them into the members. But still you can like, right? So still you can call the methods, right? So the methods will work, right? So you can see methods will work, and since the values are not passed, you will see some dummy values, right? So very like here, this is 5.9 into 10 into the power minus 39. This minus 45. So this is like some right, dummy values. Right. So these are again dummy values. This will be dummy values. And the other thing that now you can see the members can be called, again, data member functions. So the member functions are declared public, so you can call them. But I mean, you can even make them private. So that then, right? So you can make them private. So they won't work again. So it says print details is private, cannot be, right? But the thing is now, usually we make the data members private and we make the member functions public. So that's the usual thing, right? So that's the standard. Object oriented programming වල තියෙන standard එක තමයි ඒක. Data members public කරනවා. Sorry, data members private කරනවා, member functions public කරනවා. So that's the right? That's the method, right? Okay, understood. Now, okay, that's fine. හරිද? ඔයා කියන්නේ ඒක standard එකක් කියලා, you say that's a standard. Okay, fine. So you say that's a standard and that's fine. Okay, right? But the thing is now, you will see, okay, so this is a standard and it's fine. Now we can see, okay, as you say, that's a standard, so therefore we have to make them private. Okay, but there's a serious issue. What? Now you can call the methods, but you can't pass the, you don't have any method to pass values to the members. මෙහෙම කළාම හරි, වා කියන්නේ ස්ටෑන්ඩඩ් එකක් මෙහෙම තමයි මේක කරන්නේ, හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ, ඒක ඕකේ. හැබැයි පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. දැන් ඉතින් මෙහෙම කරපු ගාම මොකද වෙන්නේ? S1 ඔබ්ජෙක්ට් එකට අපිට බෑ පාස් කරන්න data members. ලට values පාස් කරන්න බෑ අපිට. right? Data members ලට values පාස් කරන්න විදිහක් නෑ. We don't have a method to pass values to the data members. නේද? S1 ගේ නමට කොහොමද දාන්නේ? S1 ගේ maths වලට කොහොමද ලකුණු දාන්නේ? physics වලට chemistry වලට ලකුණු දාන්නේ කොහොමද? අපිට ඒව කරන්න බෑ. ඇයි? ඒවා private නම් main එක access කරන්න බෑ. So we have a serious issue now, right? So we have a solution for this. We have a solution. The solution is that in order to do this, we can use something called a constructor, right? We can use something called a constructor. So the third type will be constructors. Constructors, this is a kind of methods, right? Right? දැන් මේකට අපි කියනවා constructors කියලා. දැන් අපු අලුත් જાතියක් ගැන ඉගෙන ගන්න යන හැබැයි ඇත්තටම constructor එකකුත් ඇත්තටම methods යටතේ තමයි වැටෙන්නේ. හැබැයි පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස්, methods වලට වඩා පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස්. හැබැයි methods යටතේ අපිට ඒක ගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? We can take it under methods, but different type of method. Construct එකක් කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම method එකක් වගේම තමයි, පොඩි වෙනස්කම් ටිකක් තියෙනවා. Right? We have several differences, but still it is a it can be considered as a method, right? Kind of a member function, right? Okay, good. Right, so this is how you are going to identify a constructor. constructor එක අඳුර ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ විදිහට අපිට. constructor එකට සාමාන්‍ය return එකක් නැහැ. No return type in a constructor, right? No return type in a constructor. And the other thing is we don't have the return type in the constructor. The other thing is the constructor name is same as the class name, right? Constructor name is same as the class name. Class name එකම තමයි constructor එකේ නම වෙන්නේ. එතකොට ඒක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඒක rule එකක්. student නම් constructor එකේ නමත් student ම තමයි. දැන් මොකද්ද මේ student කියන්නේ? මේකට අපි කියන්නේ constructor එකක්. කොහොමද constructor එකක් අඳුරගන්නේ? return type එකක් නැහැ. ඒ වගේම තමයි නම class එකේ නමමයි තියෙන්නේ constructor ට. right understood හරි දැන් මම කියවනේ මේ student අපි මේ constructor කියන එක අපි කතා කරන්නේ අර අපිට data members ලට values යවන්න බැරි එකට තියෙන solution එකක් විදිහට තමයි අපි මෙන්න මේ construct එක use කරන්නේ right data members ලට values යවන්න බැරි හේතුවට data solution එකක් විදිහට තමයි අපි මෙන්න මේ construct එක use කරන්නේ හරි දැන් මෙතන return type එක නෑ class name එක තමයි function name එකට තියෙන්නේ අපි දැන් ඕක define කරන්නත් ඕනේ කාට හරි කියන්න පුළුවන්ද define කරද්දි කොහොමද අපි දාන්නේ කියලා දැන් මේ void print details කියන එක අපි define කරද්දි දැම්මේ void student cal average අයියේ return type එක class name එක double colon function name එක කාට හරි කියන්න පුළුවන්ද මේ construct එක අපි define කරද්දි කොහොමද define කරන්නේ කියලා we don't have return type හරි කොහොමද කරන්නේ එහෙනම් දැන් මෙතන cal average කියන එක මෙතනට එද්දි void student cal average මෙතන void print details කියන එක මෙතන void student print details මෙතන කොහොමද අපි define කරන්නේ construct එක yes yes anyone quickly yes yes anyone so the student is yes yes
without data type, just a
student right
brackets,
huh
brackets.
okay you mean like this
Yes.
no yes but you have to add something now here we have to say okay this constructor is from the student class then මෙතන void print details තියෙන මෙතන කොහොමද උනේ void student print details එහෙනම් මෙතන student කියලා constructor කෙනෙක් ඉන්නකොට එයා කොහොමද student colon student දැන් පොඩ්ඩක් මේක අවුල් හැබැයි මේක හිතුවත් හරි මේ තියෙන්නේ අර class name මේ තියෙන්නේ මේ තියෙන්නේ function name එක මේකෙන් කියන්නේ ඒක student class එකේ තියෙන function එක මේ member කෙනෙක් data member එකක් කියලා member function එකක් කියලා මෙතනත් එහෙමනේ void print details මෙතන void student print details එහෙනම් මෙතන student කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා ඉතින් අපි කියනවා හරි මේ student class එකේ තියෙන student කියන construct එක right හරි මම මෙහෙම දෙයක් කරන්න මම මේකේ ඇතුලේ මොකුත් දාන්නේ නැහැ මම මෙතන මොකුත් define කරන්නේ නැහැ මම මෙහෙම දෙයක් දානවා cout දානවා constructor called මම පොඩි print එකක් දාලා තියෙනවා මේ construct එක ඇතුලේ right මම එච්චරයි මේ construct එක ඇතුලේ දැනට කරන්නේ පොඩි print එකක් දාලා තියෙනවා construct එක ඇතුලේ මොකද්ද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ right මොකක්ද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ construct එක call කරපු ගමන් sorry කොහේ හරි මේ construct එක call වෙනවා කියලා හිතන්න එහෙනම් මොකද වෙන්නේ මේ constructor call කියන එක print වෙනවා නේද ඉතින් දැන් වා මොකද්ද මේ කරන්නේ දැන් මේ student කියන්නේ constructor එකේදී ඇයි ඕක print එකක් දාන්නේ නැහැ මම තාම කිව්වේ නැහැ construct එකේ වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද construct එක වැඩ කරන්නේ කොහොමද ඒවා මොකුත් මම දන්නේ නැහැ මම මේ construct එකක් තියනවා කිව්වා ඒක දාන විදිය කිව්වා return type එකක් නැහැ class එකේ නමෙන්ම තමයි දාන්නේ ඊට පස්සේ ඒක මම define කරනකොට මම මේක ඇතුළේ දානවා print එකක් constructor call ඉතින් ඕක දාන්නද ඕක හැදුවේ ඔව් දැනට හිතන්න මෙච්චරයි මම කරන්නේ ඉතින් මේකෙන් මොකද වෙන්නේ කොයි වෙලාවෙ හරි අපිට මේ function එක නැත්තම් මේ method එක නැත්තම් මේ construct එක කොයි වෙලාවෙ හරි කොහෙන් හරි call වුණොත් එහෙනම් මේක print වෙනවනේ right අපි බලමු ඉතින් right හරි මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ මොකක්ද මේකෙන් කියවෙන්නේ අපි කොයි වෙලාවත් ඔය ස්ටුඩන්ට් කියන කන්ස්ට්‍රක්ටර් එක කෝල් කරලා නැහැ හැබැයි බලන්න මේ නම මොකද්ද කන්ස්ට්‍රක්ටර් කියන්නේ හදන කෙනාට නේද කන්ස්ට්‍රක්ටර් හදන කෙනාට right කන්ස්ට්‍රක්ටර් කියන්නේ හදන කෙනාට මොකක් හරි හදන කෙනා එතකොට ක්ලාස් එක කන්ස්ට්‍රක්ටර් කියලා කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම ඔබ්ජෙක්ට් එක හදන කෙනාට දැන් මේ ඔබ්ජෙක්ට් තුනක් අපි හදලා තියෙනවා ඒ තුන හදද්දිම මෙන්න මේක print වෙලා තියෙනවා right එහෙනම් මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ අපිට conclude කරන්න පුළුවන් අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් එහෙනම් මෙන්න මේ ක්ලාස් එකෙන් ස්ටුඩන්ට් ක්ලාස් එකෙන් ඔබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක් හැදෙනකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ කන්ස්ට්‍රක්ට් එක කෝල් වෙනවා right ඕක තමයි අපිට මෙතනින් කන්ක්ලූඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඇයි එහෙම නැත්නම් ඉතින් කන්ස්ට්‍රක්ටර් කෝල් කියලා print වෙන්න බෑනේ so we see that the constructor called is printed when you are going to create a object when you create an object constructor calls constructor is called right so so what we can do we can conclude that when an object is created from a class constructor is called ඉතින් දැන් මෙන්න මේක අපිට use කරන්න පුළුවන් මේක අපිට තියෙන හොඳ point එකක් අපි ගාව තියෙනවා function එකක් අපි ගාව තියෙනවා method එකක් පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් හැබැයි තාමත් අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් මේක member function එකක්ම තමයි මොකද්ද මේ member function එකේ තියෙන speciality එක මේ member function එකේ තියෙන speciality එක මොකද්ද මේ member function එක ඉබේටම call වෙනවා this calls automatically when a object is created right when an object is created so we can use this behavior to do something like this see මේ function එකට ගන්නවා parameters ටිකක් right we take parameters for this function like string float right so we take 4 parameters here right so I take 4 parameters here like this right and also this should be included there in the here as well right so now what we can do is we can take these values right and we can pass some values to the constructor from here so what will happen so you know once these are passed right so what happens these things will be passed to these variables I mean like parameters right so what happens then you can use this indirect method to do this right so now what was the issue right what was the issue now see how we can solve that issue right so what we can do here is that now what was the issue the original issue was that since as a standard, as a rule, as a theory, we have to make the data members, we have to list them under private data members or private members. So in that case, what happens? We can't directly access them through the main. We can't directly access them through the main. So this kind of things cannot be done. This kind of things cannot be done since those are private, right? So what do you mean by private again? Private members or functions cannot be accessed or even viewed from the outside the class. Only the class and the friend function, we will discuss what the friend functions later. So this says only class and friend functions can access private members, but public members can be accessed anywhere from the anywhere outside the class, right? So when it comes to this, so we don't have a method of accessing the name, math, physics, chemistry, and those values. So what happened here? What we did, we found a solution, and in the like object-oriented concept, we have something called constructor. So what the constructor is? A function, a special type of a member function. So constructors are also a special kind of member functions, and how you can identify them is by that it don't have any return type, and the name is the constructor name. So what we saw was the constructor is automatically called when an object is created, right? අපි දැක්කා construct එකක් object එක create කරද්දී automatically construct එක call වෙනවා. ඉතින් අපි මොකද කළේ? ඉතින් construct එක call කරද්දී මේ වගේ object එක හදනකොට construct එක call වෙනවා නම් අපි මොකද කළේ? So we have a constructor, a special type of member function which will be called when an object is created, right? When an object is created, we have a method which automatically calls. So we use that behavior, and what we did was, when we call we know that when an object is created, the constructor is called. So we are passing some values to the constructor. We are passing the data members, right? So we can't access them directly, right? We can't access them directly, but we can access them using a member function. We can access them using a member function. So that's what we did here, right? We access it using a member function. That's what we did here, right? Simply. So here, this comes here, this comes here, likewise, and then it is saved in the data member, right? So this is, we are accessing the member functions. We are accessing the member functions, but we do it using an indirect method, right? So we use an indirect method to do this, not a direct method. We are not access them directly, but using a constructor, we access the member functions. So that's what we did. That's what we do here. Understood? So now simply, let's say, like, so similarly, we can do it for like several objects. Right? Understood. So that's how it happens, right? That's how it happens. Got the idea? Right? Okay. Right. Good. Now, I hope that you got the idea. Now, shall we create a, shall we do example? Okay, so this is what you have to do. I mean, not you. So let's do this together, right? So we did a sample codes. We implemented some sample codes. So what we are going to do now, in order to concrete the ideas, in order to uh, like get them understand well, we implement a exercise here, right? So let's see what we have to do, right? Okay, so give me a second. Okay, right? Okay, so this is what you have to do. Now, you are asked to create a class called rectangle, right? You are asked to create a class called rectangle. Okay, how to do it? Yes. So let's get together and implement this. Yes. How we can do this, please? Yes. So we can create it like this class rectangle, like this. Very simple. Okay. So then you are asked to add data members, length, width, area, and perimeter. Yes. So data members declared as private. So tell me how to, yes, data members, how you can implement it. Yes, length, width, area, perimeter. How, yes. What is the data type?
Float.
Okay, good. Float, length, float, width, float, area, float, perimeter. Okay, good. Now, then you know the members and the constructors are public, right? Okay, public. So we are asked to create a constructor which can take length, width values from the main, uh, from the main when an object is created, right? Create a constructor which can take length, width values from the main when an object is created and assigned to the data members. Okay. So how we are going to create a constructor? Yes, the constructor. How we are going to identify a constructor? I mean, how we are going to define a constructor? Yes, quickly. yes කොහොමද constructor කෙනෙක් හදන්නේ මෙතන මේ හදන constructor මොන නමින්ද ඉන්න ඕන හා
rectangle.
okay good rectangle same as the class name okay so is there any parameters that we need to include here
Yes, length, width, area.
okay float length and float width. Okay so then we have defined more functions like cal area function and also cal perimeter function okay then you have to have a print details function as well okay so this is the class definition right so this is the class definition sorry class declaration so we have defined the class declaration right so class is declared here then the class definition okay so yes so how yes the constructor let's define the constructor yes how constructor define කරන්නේ කොහොමද yes yes කියන්නේ කොහොමද සාම්පල් එක පෙන්නන්නද කලින් කරපු එක මේ තියෙන student එකේ construct එක so this is the student constructor this is how the student this is how we implemented the student constructor yes so how yes rectangle tell me
Rectangle,
okay
about column,
rectangle colon rectangle okay so any parameters needed to be insert
yes,
yes similar like this so in the body of the constructor what you have to include so what was there originally constructor which can take length and width value from the main when an object is created okay done here we have two variables to take the length and width when the object is created okay that's done and the second part you asked to assign to the data members assign them to the data members yes how you are going to do it ගන්න කියපු එක හරි දැන් අරගෙන data members ලට දාන්න කියලාත් කියන කොහොමද ඒක දාන්නේ yes ඒ කියන්නේ මේ එන දෙන්නව length එකටයි width එකටයි දාන්න තියෙන්නේ ඉතින් කොහොමද ඒක දාන්නේ
len is equal to length, wd is equal to
ඔව් බොහොම සරලයි නේද ඉතින් අර width එකටයි length එකටයි මේ main එකෙන් එන දෙන්නව දා ගන්නවා මේ විදියට okay so how cal area first we have to return type then the class name colon cal area right so how the area is calculated so from grade 5 knowledge how the grade 2-3 knowledge how the area is calculated of rectangle yes area equals you know these things right කොහොමද area calculate වෙන්නේ
L into length into width. ආකරන්න
So finally, void print details to print values of the all data members. So print details should be there to print all the values of the data members. Right. So then you are asked to create two sample rectangle objects called R1 and R2 and test the member functions. Okay, so shall we create two objects like this? Right. So how we are going to create these objects? Yes.
Rectangle R1.
Would rectangle R1 1020, right? Or 2010, both would be fine. Right. So shall we test the cal area? Right. So shall we run this and see? So let me have a kind of a separator here. Right. So right, so it works fine, right? Understood. So it works fine. Okay, now the other thing, right? So we explained some sample codes and we implemented, right? So hope you understood. And the other thing, yes, any issues? Okay, right. So the other thing, okay, right? Okay, right. So now there's one thing to like, this is what actually I'm going to discuss today, right? So the introduction to object-oriented programming, and we discuss about classes and object and how they are created, private and public data members and constructors, member functions, data members, and how to access them. So we discuss lots of things. So I want to explain you one more thing, right? So let me close everything and just open the last code that we implemented, right? Okay. Now you know that, right? So you know that this is the don't worry about the editor, right? We are not going to run the codes here. So this is called the class declaration, right? And this is called the class definition. This is called the class definition, and this is the normal main, you know, right? But the thing is, when it comes to object-oriented programming, we are not going to implement all of these codes in the same code. That means the class declaration, class definition, and the main we are not going to include in the same code, right? But for the first example, I did it like that. Since then we can understand it well, right? මම කියන්න හදන්නේ මේක අය මේ තුනම class declaration එක class definition එක ඊට පස්සේ main එක මේ ඔක්කොම එකම code එකේ තියෙන හැබැයි අපි එහෙම කරන්නේ නැහැ object oriented programming වල classes objects වල අපි එහෙම කරන්නේ නැහැ. අපි මේ තුන files තුනක තමයි run කරගන්නේ. ඒක තමයි standard එක. ඒක තමයි සාමාන්‍ය අපි කරන විදිහ. මේක ඉතින් මෙහෙම කළාට ප්‍රශ්න නැහැ. මොකද පළවෙනි කෝඩ් එක මම එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරන්න ලේසි හින්දා සහ එක්ස්ප්ලেইন පාඩ තේරෙන්නත් ඕනේ හින්දා තමයි මම එක කෝඩ් එකේ class declaration එකයි class definition එකයි main එකයි දැම්මේ. හැබැයි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් එහෙම නෙමෙයි කරන්නේ. මේක files තුනක තමයි අපි හදන්න ඕනේ. Right? You have to create this thing in three different files, three individual files, right? So how we are going to do it, let me show you. Right? So now this is an important thing. Now hereafter, this is how we are going to create these object-oriented programming related codes. දැන් මෙතනින් එහාට ඔයාලට classes objects වලින් code ලියන්න එද්දි මෙහෙම තමයි ඔයා හදන්න ඕනේ. Class declaration එක වෙන file එක, class definition එක වෙන file එක, main එක වෙන file එක. Right? මම දැන් explain කරන්න යන්නේ කොහොමද ඒක කරන්න කියලා. ඉස්සෙල්ලාම open කරගන්න, you have to first open the Duke C++, the development environment you are using, right? Now up to now what we did was we got a source file, right? We got individual source files and included our codes. But hereafter we are not going to do that. Let me show you how this is done. Right? So let me create a folder called student class. Right? So make sure that all the projects are included in different folders. You have to create different folders for each object-oriented programming code, right? If you are developing an object-oriented programming code, then you definitely have to have a separate folder. And this is how it's done. Go to the Duke C++ software, right? So I'm explaining everything from beginning. Duke C++ software. Then get a new project, not a new file, new source file, not a new source file, get a new project, right? And from here, select console application, and here you can give any name you like, right? Student class or whatever the name you like. It is not like necessary. I mean, you can, it's not important. You can give any name you like. it's fine, right? Then hit on OK. And after that, select a separate folder. Now I have this folder. Yes, Nuwan.
So what's the project? Then what's the selection?
Okay, so here go to project.
File, new project.
Yeah, file, new project, and then console application. Right?
Console application.
Yes. Then give a name you like. Any name, my project. Any name you like. It's fine. It's not important. The name is not important of the project, right? Then hit on OK. Then you have to select where this project should be saved, and you have to select a folder. Like it will be fine if you are using a separate folder. Now student class, I have a separate folder, so I'm going to save it here, right? So that's it. Now then you are going to get a code like this. So this is the main code. You are going to get the main code. So don't worry about what is this return 0, what is this parameters. Don't worry about that. This is the main function, like as we implemented last, I mean, in our day-to-day codes, right? So this is same as the main file that we implemented in our code. So don't worry. So the main CPP will automatically created, but you have to add this namespace SPD separate, right? So the main file will be created, and you can save it from press Ctrl S or go to File, Save. You can save it simply, right? So we have the main file. Now, then what you have to do, main file is automatically created. No need to create it, automatically created. What you have to do is only add the using namespace std. That's all. Then you are going to first implement the class declaration, right? Then you are going to implement the class declaration. So how the class declaration is done, what you need to do is get this code with the IO stream using namespace std. With that, get the class declaration, only the class declaration with the IO stream using name as std, everything. Get this code, right? Whatever this code, and then get a new source file, right? Get a new source file. Get a file, new source file, right? Then you will be getting this kind of a menu where it asks to add new file to the current project. Hit on yes. Hit on yes. Then this kind of a file will be created. Just paste the content. Just paste the content of the class declaration, including the IO stream and using namespace std. Includes the class declaration, and then save it. And you can use Ctrl S again, or you can just go here and save. But make sure when you are saving it, you save it in the same location where your main CPP is, right? And also make sure that you are saving it in the project folder that you selected. And the other thing, you have to first, now I'm talking about the class declaration. So the class declaration file, make sure that you are going to save the file type to header files. So original one, the default one will be CPP, but you have to manually change this to header files, right? So change it to header files. Then the file name, make sure that the file name is given as the class name, as same as the class name. So the file name definitely should be given as the class name. So two things to be done. First one is change it to H files or header files. That's the main thing, right? Change it to header files. And thereafter, file name, you have to give it as same as the class name, student. Understood? Whatever the class name, whatever your class name here, right? Whatever your class name here should be given as the file name here. Understood? So then hit on save. Now you can make sure that these are correctly created, right? So you can see the student.h is their main CPP here. Finally, what you have to do is you have to get another source file and add that to the current project as well. You have to add that to the current project, and then here this code will be used to save the class definition, only the class definition, right? The class definition. So this is the code that you are going to use for the class definition. Here, few new things to be done. You have to include the header file here. The header file that you just created is student.h. You have to include that header file here, right? Make sure that you are not going to use this greater than or this arrow marks. No, not this arrow marks like in IO stream. Don't use arrow marks දාන්න එපා IO stream වල වගේ. ඔයා දාන්න ඕනේ මෙන්න මෙහෙම. මොකද අපි හදන classes වල අපි හදන header files include කරගද්දි customized header files වලට අපි දාන්නේ inverted commas. So for the customized header files we use inverted commas, not arrows, right? So this is a header file that we created. So in that case we will use inverted commas to include that into our code, right? So you have to do this definitely, otherwise it won't work, right? This is what you have to add additionally in the third file, and make sure that you are going to save it. And when you are going to save it, the file type will be same as the CPP. You have to keep it remain in the CPP, but the file name again should be same as the class name, right? So the file name, you have to use the you have to use the class name as the file name, right? You have to use the class name as the file name of this CPP file as well. Okay, all right, great. So again, going back, you will have, when you are going to move to object-oriented programming, when you are going to create classes, you will have three main files. The first one will be the header file. So header file includes the class declaration, right? So you have to include the class declaration inside the header file, and it will be saved as a header file, and the file name should be the class name, same as the class name, same as the class name. Then thereafter, the second type, the second file will be the class definition file. The class definition file, you have to include the earlier header file, the class header file here, otherwise it won't work. And the other thing, you have to save it as a CPP file, and that file name should be same as the class name. Done. So then finally the main file, in the main file you can now create objects like this. Right? But another important point, if you want to use the student class in your main file, that means if you want to create objects from the student class, or if you want to use that somehow, if you want to use the student class, and if you want to create objects from the student class, the most important thing that you have to include the header file of that student class. Student class එකෙන් object හදන්න ඕනේ නම් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඔයාට මෙන්න මේ student.h කියන header file එක ගෑනලා දාගන්න වෙනවා. මෙන්න මේ file එක මෙතනට include කරගන්න වෙනවා මේ විදිහට. Then you can do it. And you have to pass the name as well. So it works. So we will right? So it works perfectly, right? Understood? Any questions? So today onwards, when you are going to create object-oriented programming code, so if you're going to create something related to classes and objects, so if you are using classes, definitely you have to create the files like this. The class definition in a header file as same as the name as the class name, and the class declaration in the header file. The file name should be the class name, and the class definition in the CPP file name should be the class name, and you have to in the main include the header file, right? Include the header file, and then you can do whatever you want, right? And the header file will be something like this. When you are going to create the class declaration, you have to include the IO stream, and using namespace std should be included. And thereafter student.cpp, you have to or also include the student.h as well, right? Understood? Any questions? Or do I need to explain it again? Right? So thereafter, you can just open it by going to the location. Now this is where my project is located, and you can open the project by uh, opening this file, right? And make sure like you are going to have different folders for like different classes. So if you are going to create another file for the rectangle class, then make sure that you are going to include it in a separate folder. Understood? Right?
So then how do we run the project?
Just you have to press this one, compile and run. So
For which file?
No, in the main, right? In the main. So you have to run the code in the main. So it automatically runs other codes as well. I mean, other two codes, student CPP and student.h will be automatically executed, right? You have to just run the main.
Is it required to open in CP dev, or just only open it? Is it okay to run? I mean, without opening other source.
Yeah.
Without opening the declaration.
I mean, these files not need to open. You have to just you can just open this one. Then the other three files will be also open. Right?
Only main to be open and run. Then others will automatically run.
Not the main. You have to open this DEV file.
DEV file.
This file should be opened.
Okay.
Then run the main. Here, run the main. Then. Right? Okay. So others, any questions? Yes. So any questions others may have? No. So any question related to the assignment number 3? Any difficulty or any doubts you may have in assignment number 3? Nothing. Okay, good. So, right. So please complete the assignment and have a look on these files and try to do it your own, right? and we will discuss about object-oriented programming for a few weeks, right? So we will meet on next week and discuss further about object-oriented programming. So till then, have a good weekend and try to do the assignment and try to run these codes again and try out these yourselves, right? So if you have any questions, you can always contact me, right? Okay, so then thank you very much, and we will meet on next time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.